Oh, missed it. That's annoying. It is bitterly cold. You would not think it is May next week. What is actually going on with this weather? All right, we've got a fish on the float. Oh, yes. Oh, would you look at that? It's a little chub. All right, guys, welcome back to Bearded Hooker UK. Today we are on the lovely Aire and Calder canal, and we're going to be targeting pretty much anything that's out there. It's a nice spring morning. It's been kind of cold and rainy this week, but today the weather seems to have turned in our favour. Tactics wise, we're going to be using a maggot feeder, casting it kind of just kind of like near the opposite bank. I've already started seeing signs of fish, which is great. I've put out a few balls of ground bait, a few loose feeded maggots as well. Might switch on to mag and wag later. We'll see how we get on. So yeah, let's cast in and see if we can catch something. All right, it's a bit of a slow start. It's about the fourth cast that's out now. There is signs of fish still. I keep seeing them on the far bank. I've had one bite, a little line knock I think it was, and one of the times when I brought my feeder back, the maggot on the hook had definitely been like chomped on by a fish. So there is fish out there. It's all good signs. A bit more perseverance and I think we'll be into his first fish soon. All right, we're changing tactics because the maggot is getting eaten every time, but I'm not getting bites, and it's kind of covered in weeds, so I think the bottom might be a little bit too weedy. So we're going to go on the float. We're going to start with a waggle the float, standard 1 gram, and see if we can. I think there might be a little bit higher up in the water, so I'm not fishing on the bottom, fishing just a little bit off. Hopefully, that's where they are. All right, we've got a fish on the float. Oh yes, that is a lovely roach. Or is it a rudd? I think that might be a rudd. That is a beautiful rudd. Lovely colour fins. Great first fish. All right, into our second fish, and it's much smaller. And that, I think that might be a bleak, actually. Let's get it unhooked and have a better look. All right, what do we think? Bleak? Dace? Let's put him straight back. Okay, we seem to have found the fish now. This is really good. I was kind of getting a bit worried. I was thinking we might have ended up with a blank, but yeah, 2 fish so far. Really nice rudd, and then like a bleak or a dace. Let's get the rod straight back out. We're casting to the far bank. Yeah, we seem to be onto a winning streak. All right, fish number 3 and species number 3. This is a lovely little roach. Straight off the hook, obviously. There he is, back in the water. So yeah, 3 fish, 3 different species. All right, we're still doing good. Had about 10 fish out now, nothing different. I just had another bleak just then. I've had a bit of a change of tactic though, so I've put on this kind of bit of a bigger, thicker float. It's a 3 gram float, so it basically means I can cast further. So I can cast right to that far bank, because I keep seeing signs of fish over there. It's not as good as the other float because it's a bit thicker, it doesn't get pulled under as easily, so bite indication wise it's not as good, but it does mean I can cast to the other side, which is where the fish are. So, you know, swings and roundabouts. All right, so the temperature has dropped a bit. There was just a little rain shower as well, so conditions are not exactly how I'd want them to be. I decided to go back on the feeder just so I can keep my gloves on for a bit because it is bitterly cold. You would not think it is May next week. What is actually going on with this weather? So yeah, back on the feeder for a bit. I've got my big coat on, got my gloves on, hopefully warm up, hopefully the sun will come out or the wind will drop and we can start catching some fish again. So I've gone back on the float now because the wind's kind of died down a little bit. It's not quite as cold as it was. Just had another fish on the float, another little roach, so I'm going to cast straight back out and see if we can get another. Just fishing pretty much directly in front of me. Getting bites straight away as well. Oh, I missed it. That's annoying. Let's try again. Got to be cautious when you're casting that there's nobody walking behind you. There's lots of runners and cyclists this morning. Don't want to take anyone out with a little float. Oh, again, getting bites instantly. I think it's just little fish though. I think it's just as the maggots are sinking down through the water. I think they're just trying to grab them. That's a better cast anyway. I can't believe how cold it is though for almost May. I'm sat here shivering. Hoodie, coat, hat, hood up. Here we go, into a fish. But the fish are biting. It is spring. That's it. Another little bleak. Quite like bleak. You don't really see them too much anymore. Lively one. Just hooked nicely in the bottom lip. Put him back. Just hooked into another fish now. Feels a little bit bigger. Oh, would you look at that? It's a little chub. It is a tiny little chublet. Tiny, tiny baby chub. Really nice to catch. Really good little fish. Hopefully it's going to turn into a monster one day. Put it back. In again. Not quite as big, and it is a nice little roach. Love the colours of roach. You got the silvers, the blues, and the orange. Let's put it back. Caught on double red maggot, casting as far as I physically can because they are quite far away. But it's good, really good fishing. Another fish on. Just a little one, and it's a nice little bleak. There we are. Lovely little bleak. Do you know what I'm going to say? I think this is going to be my last fish of the day. Let's put him back. And that brings us to the end of the session. Really good session on the canal. First session properly fishing a canal this year. Ended up with 4 different species. We had rudd, roach, chub and bleak. Yeah, really enjoyable, all caught on maggots on the float fishing. Please subscribe if you enjoyed the video. You can follow me on TikTok and Instagram. I am at beardedhookeruk. And yeah, I'll hopefully see you guys in the next video. Cheers.